My name is John Kimembia Getao, Director, Rift Valley Institute of Business Studies, and we are delighted for this being in this occasion where we are celebrating our 19th graduation ceremony, where 586 students have qualified to graduate. Some are even graduating remotely because they have got jobs far off places and some outside the country. And we have 321 who are physically here, and the balance are following online. Now, Rift Valley Institute of Business Studies, we have said this is 19th graduation, but actually Rift Valley Institute of Business Studies is 15 years old. But there are times we have held more than one graduation in a year. Just like next year, we'll be holding a graduation in February, and another one will be holding it in December. There are times we find it necessary to split the numbers, and we do the two graduations. Now, we started this college the year 2008 as Rift Valley Institute of Hairdressing, and then we moved over to rebrand and became Rift Valley Institute of Business Studies in 2012. And since then, we have progressively increased the number of courses that we offer and the number of programs that we offer, and thousands of students have managed to pass through this college. And this we offer both the artisan, certificate, and diploma programs. And sometimes we also link those who want to go for further studies, we link them to universities, both locally and abroad. And we have a teaching we have our staff, we have about 860 teaching staff and a support team of about 20 or support member of staff. I think evolution of education, somewhere along the way, we lost the track, because even time memorial, people used to learn, even long before schools were established, but people used to learn from home. Now, we are realizing that we have moved out of track. Whereby we are focusing on white-collar jobs, where you go, you study, so many subjects, but you never make use of them in daily life. But now for TVET education, and we really thank the government of Kenya because of embracing TVET education, because this is where you get hands-on experience. And like now, we are borrowing heavily from the Republic of Germany and Finland, where they embrace what they call dual TVET. You learn half the time you learn from the school and half the time from the industry. Like, to give you an example, our hairdressing students, on every single day, each student gets only one, sometimes two theory classes. The rest of the time, if the student is in school for 6 hours, about more than 4 hours, they are doing practicals. And these practicals, they are not just doing with dummy. When they start with dummy models, when they are starting at the first month, but thereafter, they deal with live models. For example, we are very lucky in Rift Valley Institute of Business Studies, we are just next to the market. Those students will come to the market, look for clients, and work on those clients. And even looking at you guys here, I can see some of you have come even to the school and have had your haircut, and it's not for free. You pay money, and that money when you pay is not for the school, it's for the students. So they are learning where they are still earning. So this is the way to go, because look at it this way. For every engineer that we have in the country, and construction engineer, we require more than 50 to 100 people whom they need to work with. And these are people who we have trained in the TVET industry. If the government of Kenya has done anything good, is expansion of the TVET industry. And when you have asked that question directly about the Kenya Kwanza government, what they have done, I might not be their spokesperson, but one thing I can state clearly. William Ruto, when he was the Minister for Education during Kibaki's time, he fought strongly for the TVET education. And now when he became the president, he actually embraced that. To the extent, he formed, in the Ministry of Education, he formed a whole department, the State Department of TVET education, where now we had Dr. Esther Moria as our chief guest, because that's the State Department responsible for TVET education. How much money has the government put? I think they have put massive resources, because we have a VCT in nearly every location. in the country. There's a VCT and vocational training centers, VTC. So and there are so many. So the government has put, but now the challenge they are having in those vocational centers is probably the location where they have been placed, maybe where the communication channels are not very good, so they might not be having adequate enough number of students for the value that the government has invested. But indeed, the government has invested that way, and that's the way to go. It will be extremely ill-advised to convert any TVET institution into a university, because what does a university teach? Universities are best for teaching managers, teaching high-level thinkers. But here, at TVET, we are not training necessarily you to become a manager. You become a hands-on person. Now you can move on from being a hands-on person to become, now you graduate, you become a manager. For example, in mass media, somebody who can go to class for 6 months only, and knows how to handle a camera, you can start earning a living. You don't have to wait for 4 years in university where you have so many theories and they are not bringing you money. But still, you can have those 6 months, you progress, you go and do a diploma, and you can do that diploma, then progress, and you become, now you go to university and you become a graduate with the same thing. But with hands-on, you can earn anytime. Right now, our students in plumbing, last year, out of a class of 22 of plumbers, 17 of them got jobs out of the country. That's massive. That's a massive percentage. People getting jobs out of the country just because they are plumbers. Because these hands-on skills, people are lacking those hard skills. Even in your own house, you have a problem with electricity, and it probably is a simple thing as opening the socket, tightening the wire, or removing the fuse. But because many of us don't know, so we should go. And as I mentioned, borrowing from Germany, the Germans, they embrace it to the extent that people leave university to go to their TVET institutions.
The Technical Vocation and Training TVET is viewed as a tool of productivity enhancement and poverty reduction in this region. I would like to commend Rift Valley Institute of Business Studies because of the introduction of courses like CBET and short-term courses that help students to create employment within no time and also self-employment.